This is 10 pages long. All right. I've had a drink. Let's strap ourselves in for this. The ending popularity of the Dirk Warhard novels presents an enigma for contemporary literary critics. How does one analyze and understand a body of work which is so superficial in its content, yet which has achieved such enduring audience adoration? While many are content to dismiss their popularity as the result of the simple-minded desire for easily consumable and mindless content, I believe that this perspective misses a crucial element of what makes the Dirk Warhard novels popular. After all, he's not the only vapid action hero in pulp literary fiction, so what makes his legacy so enduring? To understand this question is to understand the book's author, Jeremy Esterkoff, who wrote the books under the pen name D.B. Steele. Did not always produce such simple-minded literature. The novels he wrote early in his career, while similar in theme to the Dirk Warhard books, walked a much more nuanced line in their portrayal of action heroes. Heroics, rather. For instance, The Flag Bearer Rests at Dawn depicts the struggles of two brothers on either side of a civil war, whose fraught attempts at reconciliation are complicated by the constantly changing messages of state propaganda. A year later, Esterkoff published Final Eyes, a futuristic thriller about a government agent whose desire to serve justice humanely is challenged by the encroachment of efficient yet thoughtless robotics into the world of law enforcement. Esterkoff has repeatedly declined to speak publicly about these early works, or indeed about any of his oeuvre? Okay. In time, he came to be known as an enigmatic recluse, someone who emerged from isolation only to deliver a new piece of work. His reticence to explain himself therefore invites a great deal of speculation as to why he shifted away from writing more nuanced material to instead pen Dirk Warhard novels. Of course, it's impossible to ignore the financial failure of his early novels, yet to focus on sales may miss the bigger picture. Esterkoff was known to have a contentious relationship with his publisher, who at the time was attempting to capture a more artistic and socially conscious audience, and so put extensive pressure on him to make public appearances for press and the reception of awards. Esterkoff bristled at the insistent, resentful of being asked to participate in the literary social world. We are then left to wonder whether the shift toward mass audience literature was actually a move by Esterkoff, specifically intended to rebel against the wishes of his publisher. Maybe. Authors can be petty too. It's kind of funny when they are. Yet regardless of Esterkoff's intentions, what's indisputable is that the moment he shifted his efforts, he found immediate commercial success. His very first Dirk Warhard novel, On a Wing and a Bullet, became a global bestseller and brought the name Dirk Warhard into the public vernacular. Within 3 years, Esterkoff had published a further 6 novels in the franchise, including bestsellers Bullets O'Clock, Edge of a Bullet, and Knives at a Bullet Fight. Who is Dirk Warhard exactly? Going by the novels, he can be difficult to pin down. He's consistently portrayed as stoic and unflinching, yet with each novel, he shifts socio-politically in order to meet the needs of the story. The best example of this is the perpetual question of whether Dirk Warhard works for the government or not. The answer seems to change in each book. His role in the execution of justice fluctuates between being a public good and being a rogue renegade, sometimes even within the same story. Dirk Warhard is also the embodiment of stereotypical heteronormative masculinity. As the novel exploded in popularity, so too did they begin to attract criticism for their portrayal of Warhard's relationship with masculinity. He did keep saying what a man he was. As writer Laura Erauer phrased it, Dirk Warhard romanticizes male infantilization to an audience for whom contemporary expectations of masculinity have become far too nuanced. It's a fun way of saying he's a man-child. That's fun. This and other criticisms resulted in a bitter retaliation from Esterkoff, who chose to respond to his critics not via public statement, maintaining, as ever, his trademark aloofness, but through the novels themselves. His subsequent novel, Straight as a Bullet, was a naked attempt to repudiate his critics by having Dirk Werhard double down on every one of his most egregiously masculine tendencies. In the novel Esterkoff's Longest Ever, Werhard makes love to over 120 women and kills dozens of vegetarians. The exact phrase, "I'm a man and nothing will change that," appears 26 times. That's so funny. It's at this point that the novels begin to drive toward a very specific thesis. Dirk Werhard is incapable of fundamental change because he is who he is as a result of inherent traits rather than as a product of social or political impact. For instance, in the Bullet Complex, the villainous Dr. Shumptuck genetically modifies Dirk Werhard to make him more compliant and passive as a person. Yet Werhard's genes literally resist the transformation, rearranging themselves back into their natural configuration. We're getting into very tense territory here, just moments after the procedure is complete. This is a recurring theme in subsequent books, such as Face Full of Bullets and Bullets Forever, wherein the villains become focused less on personal gain and more on simply trying to change Werhard. It's in this trend that we see the core appeal of Dirk Werhard begin to emerge, a repudiation of the value of socio-political change. Change is the only consistent villain of the Werhard novels, the only concept toward which he remains consistently hostile. Even Werhard's notion of justice is malleable. At times, he considers crime necessary to achieve justice. I mean, he did shoot the president and just move on with his life in one of the novels we read. Where was I? Oh God, I lost my place. Even Werhard's notion of justice is malleable. Yeah. Well, at other times, the elimination of all crime is the only path to justice. Yet, in no circumstances is change acceptable for himself or for anyone else. Of course, we are again left to speculate as to the exact nature of Esterkoff's personal belief in the content he was creating. Are we to see Dirk Werhard through the eyes of the author who once penned serious and moody works of nuanced interpersonal intrigue? In this sense, the Dirk Werhard novels could be seen as a satirical lampooning of mass media interests. Or are we to assume that Esterkoff truly did come around to believing in the fundamental righteousness of never changing? This thematic thread may have continued through the novels, if not for a personal setback. Esterkoff's brother passed away after the publication of The Bullet Hunts at Night, at which point Esterkoff's prolific pace slowed dramatically. The loss devastated him. After several years of silence, he emerged from isolation with a new book, Whispers of a Broken Bullet, in which for the first time, even Dirk Werhard becomes a deeply emotive character. Werhard monologues on the nature of pain for over a dozen pages and openly cries twice. There's no villain or central conflict. Werhard simply travels from place to place, remarking grimly on the various people and locations he passes. In some ways, the novel feels a return to Esterkoff's earlier works. Yet, if the response to his early work was muted, the response to Whispers of a Broken Bullet was hostile. Fans of the series uproariously decried the changes and demanded a return to form. Whether as a capitulation to public response or perhaps a desire to distract himself with work of a less nuanced sort, Esterkoff abandoned the new angle on Dirk Werhard. His next book, Bullets Don't Cry, saw a decisive return to the Dirk Werhard of old. In this book, Dirk Werhard murders over 400 people, including the prime minister of every nation on the planet, becoming the prime minister himself in several countries. His tendency toward cannibalism, already alluded to in the previous books, ratchets up with the invention of his new justice cannibalism technique. The book shows Dirk Werhard's complete regression into the most thoughtlessly violent and virile version of himself. and was adored by fans upon release. Bullets Don't Cry ended up becoming the best-selling book in the entire franchise, as of writing this piece. Yet, the series' resurgence was short-lived. A few years and a few novels later, a bombshell investigative report revealed that for an unknown amount of time, ghostwriters had been doing much of the work on the Dirk Warhard books. Esterkoff was at this point in his declining years, and his publisher had progressively been enlisting uncredited staff writers to take over a significant amount of the writing. It was never revealed what sections of the later books were not written by Esterkoff, or indeed if he wrote a single word of them at all. But those hoping to hear an answer directly from Esterkoff were crestfallen when he passed away a few months later. In the wake of his passing, the publisher openly turned to ghostwriters to continue the series, albeit strictly in sequel forms. Sequels such as The Fastest Bullet Alive 2, Even Faster Bullets, failed to elicit a critical or commercial response of any significance. To this day, the publisher continues to produce these sequels, still bearing Esterkoff's name, to a decidedly middling reception. The failure of these sequels and the question of the novel's authorship invites a question. What was it that gave Esterkoff's heroic protagonist such broad appeal in the first place? Whether he wrote from a place of satirical mockery or from a genuine belief in the need for regressive masculinity. Esterkoff's intentions were never truly dissected. His most enduring legacy, therefore, is not just the character of Warhard, but a collective disagreement over the authorial underpinnings of the Dirk Warhard franchise. It is a question as enduring and unchanging as Warhard himself, and one which will be irrevocably affixed to the institution of literary criticism. Interesting. Hard to say if I think Esterkoff wrote any of the Dirk Warhard novels. You could assume he did if you were going off the one where he was sad after his brother died and he was going from place to place and grieving, but it could also be the public knew of his brother's death, so the ghostwriters then had to make a, quote, sad novel. Very interesting. However, what I find the most sad is that his name was being used, probably very much against his will, to pen what he would have probably seen as trash. Poor author. Poor Arthur. May he rest in peace. Anyway, back to tea. The drinkable kind. Wow, that's a lot of thorns. I've got some clippers. It is always possible that Esterkoff did in fact write the first few Dirk Warhard novels as a commentary on his unwillingness to change and how comical he found his publisher's need to make him into something he's not. But I don't think anyone got his joke, unfortunately, and his novels wound up becoming wildly popular. Look, it's a little egg guy. I've got a little egg guy. You can go here, little egg guy. Look how cute he is. He's a cutie. Okay. We are still not close to making this coffee. There's a person over there who has a quest for me. Let's go get that quest. Maybe that'll help us. Hi. What exactly are you? Whoa, what the heck? Goodness, hello. Delightful, delightful, such a delight. Beautiful. We are Zenith. Hello. We have traveled along the infinite path to be here. To be here. We have seen your world. We have loved your world. It is delightful. Delightful. What is the infinite path? The infinite path. What a glorious path. Glorious. The line which connects all consciousnesses, strings them upon the unending thread. Unending. We walked it. We danced it. We found it delightful. Delightful. We see on your face, this is not a helpful answer. Confused. It's just, I've never seen anything like you before. And we, in turn, have never seen anything like you. It is a joy to discover. Joyful. We are discovering so very much about your plane of existence. Discovering. Look, have you seen them? They are our favorite discovery yet. Favorites. These men, they are wearing suits. They are conducting business. Suits. This is our favorite discovery by far, yes. The businessmen, that's the best thing you've seen? Yes, yes. I get it. They're pretty incredible with their ability to request coffee from a tea shop. Agreed. We do not know of another entity quite like them. Agreed. It is difficult to compare them. We have had many beautiful experiences upon the infinite path. Many. We have touched upon consciousness in all realms. We have spoken to the colors of a dying star. We have lived inside the eyes of an entire species for its entire lifespan. We have spent a millennium living within a single moment of radiant joy. And we must say, this, the men of business, it is one of our favorites, truly. How did you find them? We noticed them as we passed momentarily through your reality. They caught our attention. We are rapt. We could not look away. Tremendous. We had to know. What was their purpose? Why they exist? So we accompanied them. Companion. We have been following them from place to place as they move. They search. They search for the boardroom. They seek this. They called to it. They have been searching for a long time. A very long time. We are delighted by this quest. We hope very much that they succeed. Delighted. Well, would you like some tea? 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 We have not yet encountered tea in this reality. What is it? Describe it. It's just like hot water with some ingredients in it. Oh, yes, we have heard of this. It is called coffee. Coffee. The men of business have spoken of it fondly many times. A great love. No. Coffee is a different thing. We don't have coffee. Only tea. Intriguing. We must know more. Please, bring us tea. Please. Okay. What kind of flavor do you want? I can put any ingredient here into the tea. Any ingredient at all? How fascinating. What flavor do we wish for? Desire? We wish for The flavor of something that is of value. Valuable. Of value? Yes. We wish to know what is of value in this world for you. You mean like a valuable fruit? It does not have to be a fruit. It can be anything at all. Anything. Huh, okay. I'll put something valuable into the tea. Very good. We await it eagerly. I should put the unicorn into the tea. I so should. I think I'm going to. You? You are a menace to society. Sword tea, obviously. I can't even pick that up. Although I guess I have not tried since coming to this location. I got another seed. Mum. I guess we could always try what Boro suggested and just throw everything that exists into the beverage. And it'll at least be brown, so it'll look like coffee. What is this? Oh, they're seeds. This is a cup. And I got this ladybug again. We just keep getting this ladybug. It must be a really common trinket. There you go. And then what else do I have? All right, I have a cup that I need to wash. That's a fun looking cup. All right, in my inventory are clippers, a broom. I have a bunch of this stuff. Okay, I do have a T-ball left. So I could try another go. I want to know what happens if you put a trinket into a drink. We're sacrificing the unicorn. It's of value, I would say. This is so gonna end well. Why did the difficulty for tea in this place get so much harder? Here you go. Yep. Something happened. Give me this cup. That was shiny? It was. Oh, that's also like all of it. So, hope they like it. Come back. I have your tea. It's made of unicorn.